doing me still? I can't help but to wonder, is your love for me real? Now you well, know that you're young, and I know you're naive, but you know that you got me sugar under your sleeve. But the way that you did me, and you're doing me still, I can't help but to wonder, is your love for me real?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to April the 2nd. We are already into the beginning of April, which is absolutely insane for me. I hope you are doing well. We are going to be doing an amazing show today. We have some fantastic stories. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7 or 8 stories that I think are pretty significant that I think we should talk about today. But for the uninitiated, this is a morning show that I host right here on twitch.tv/TheSamuelAdams every single weekday morning at 7 a.m. It used to be 6 a.m. start time. Now I realize that I need more sleep in my life. So we're going to be starting at 7 a.m. Now, of course, this is also exported to YouTube afterwards to podcast services around the world via Anchor.fm. If you did want to check it out that way, depending on what you've got going on with your life, a podcast may suffice. And also, last week, we were featured under the On the Rise section on Anchor, which is fantastic. I am so thankful for that opportunity. I think it's very, very cool. But obviously, we're doing something right because people are enjoying the content that is coming to the table, and I suppose that we'll keep doing it then because I enjoy doing the morning show. I think it's a great way to start off the day. Normally, on a Monday morning, I'd be catching up with the gaming news that I missed over the weekend because I tend to kind of take a step back, as most people tend to do from their 9 to 5s or whatever you have going on. So it's just kind of natural for me to check up and see what's going on with the industry that I care so much about, and I figured I'd go ahead and share that with you guys. But with all of that housekeeping out of the way, I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I suppose we'll go ahead and jump right into the news that you may have missed over the weekend, and also happy belated Easter to those of you that did choose to celebrate it. First story comes to us from Polygon. Layoffs hit Twitch as company readjusts some departments. Now, this is a story that broke a little bit later in the day on Friday, and I wanted to make almost like a breaking news episode of Caffeinate, but at the same time, I figured we would just save it and talk about it on Monday. But sources tell Polygon several were let go yesterday, and yesterday would be on, let's see, that would be the Saturday? Yeah, so Friday. This is a story by Julia Alexander, who I follow on Twitter and has a lot of awesome articles over here. Several people were laid off at Twitch yesterday as the company readjusted certain teams in an effort to reprioritize specific areas, Polygon has learned. Twitch would not confirm how many people were laid off, but sources tell Polygon it was probably several, probably not exceeding 30. A statement from a Twitch representative said that certain teams were readjusted as the company focused on prioritizing areas that were most significant to the community, The full statement can be read below, and I quote, "Coming off the record-setting numbers shared in our 2017 retrospective, Twitch is continuing to grow and advance with success stories from Overwatch League to Fortnite's milestone-setting streams. In order to maintain this momentum, we have an aggressive growth strategy for 2018 with plans to increase our headcount by approximately 30%. While we've conducted team adjustments in some departments, our focus is on prioritizing areas most important for the community." Twitch's representative did not suggest what those particular areas of interest to the community are, but noted the company is looking to increase its headcount by 30% within the next 8 months. Twitch does not publicize how many people work at the company, and even though reports estimate it hovers around 400, another source says it's closer to 1,500. Now, these are the actual tweets that I want to talk about, coming to us from @Slasher. Twitch laid off more than 25 people from Twitch studios and community marketing teams yesterday, including several high-profile employees who have been with the company since Twitch began. Sources said people were told that Twitch had quote-unquote overhired, and this was to readjust. Some Twitch employees were fired by the new Twitch VP of content, Michael Aragon, I believe is how you say that name, who wasn't even in the office and did this via a Google Hangouts remote call. Employees were told to leave immediately. Morale's at an all-time low at Twitch, with one saying, quote, "We got Amazoned. Sad day." This is some pretty significant stuff. Now, what I do want to say is that within these updates is where the real story lies. Some of Twitch's most high-profile employees were among those laid off. Ben Fishsticks Goldhaber, I believe is how you say his last name, but he's known by Fishsticks in the community, confirmed he left the company on Twitter today. Justin Wong, a streamer who became the vice president of community and social, was reportedly also affected, according to a source, which he also was confirmed later on, which was reported by Rob, the guy at Slasher. Twitch could not confirm if the majority of layoffs affected the company's studio division. Justin Wong confirmed on Twitter that he was affected by the layoffs. His statement can be read below. Twitch host Anna Prosser Robinson also confirmed Twitch Studios was hit hard, but she's still there. This is a very, very significant story for those of us that have been sticking around Twitch for the long haul. Now, I am not an OG by any stretch of the imagination. I am not somebody who has been on Twitch from the very beginning. Let's not mince words. I'm relatively new to the scene in the grand scheme of things, but I love the history of Twitch, and I have a value for it. So for those that don't know how Twitch kind of began, it was originally known by the name of Justin.tv, and so as time went on and things got readjusted, it eventually evolved into Twitch, and that's kind of where we find ourselves today, because Twitch is a very, very impactful, influential source of entertainment and information content, especially in the gaming universe today. And so as time has gone on, it appears that it has begun to readjust its positioning, and so we have these major players being kind of ousted, and some are saying this is the end of the first wave of Twitch, the first group of people that really did make the company what it is today. This is a beginning of the end for the first generation of Twitch. Also, Decky in the chat says, Twitch layoff indeed. Good morning to you, my friend. But this is going to be a very interesting rest of the year, I would say, because the morale, of course, as it was reported in the story, is at an all-time low over at Twitch. And on top of that, whenever you oust somebody that has been such an impactful resource for the community itself and who has kind of built Twitch up to be what it is, those long-time, pillars of Twitch, those long-time streamers that have been there since the very beginning, those are the guys that are going to be impacted emotionally, that are going to be really hurt by the changes that are going on. And so whenever you hurt the people that are building up your platform and have built it up to be what it is, the streamers could very well revolt. The streamers can take it back before everybody else gets Amazon. You don't know what's going to be happening. But at the end of the day, I do want to reinforce the idea that even Fishsticks himself, one of the long-standing employees at Twitch that got actually hit by this round of layoffs or by this round of firings, whatever you want to call them, he actually said that Twitch is in good hands. The people that are taking over, the people that are going in and making a couple of changes, they are doing the right thing. Now, is that to be believed? Is he just saving face? That's the question here. Who knows exactly what is going to be happening on that front, but when it comes down to it, it's not really in our hands. When it comes down to it, as I said, we just have to kind of go with the flow. Now, of course, Twitch has made a lot of improvements over the course of the past few years in a lot of different ways. Some people may say that these are actually to the detriment of the company. Of course, we had the introduction of the affiliate program, a member of which I am, and that has brought a lot more revenue into the stream because even somebody that gets 3 viewers a night can still make a good, solid chunk of money from doing Twitch, and that also goes back in to the company itself. It's not just something that is shared by the streamer. Decky in the chat says, will there be more ads? I hope not. Also, I have Twitch Prime, so I don't really look at ads anyways. But that's beside the point. What I do want to say is that I believe that Twitch is going to be a fine source of entertainment, a fine source of information as time does go on. But changes are certainly being made, many of which we did not expect to see, many of which we were not prepared for. And of course, my thoughts and best hopes go out to all of those affected by the Twitch layoffs, because the people that I have seen mentioned here, especially Fishsticks and Justin Wong, those are the two that I'm really super familiar with. They are fantastic people that do fantastic work, that have really good hearts, and And I have no doubt that they could get swooped up by somebody like Mixer, somebody like Facebook, somebody like any other kind of entertainment company, and they would be fine. The way that they have impacted the Twitch community and made it what it is today is evidence enough that they are going to be absolutely fine. I have no doubt. They are good people, and so, you know, you can only hope for the best, but it does suck. It does suck whenever it comes to acknowledging the fact that the old guard is finally being retired. You know, it's the end of a generation, so to speak, for Twitch. And I think it's just part of the natural evolution of the company. As I come in and begin making content, somebody else is going to be making content after I end up having to do something else eventually. You know, I don't plan on streaming forever, but we'll see what happens. You know, it's one of those things where this is an industry that is constantly evolving, and this is just evidence of that. But I digress. I'm rambling now. Let's move on to the next story. This is coming to us from PC Gamer, the global authority on PC games, who says PUBG 4x4 kilometer map test begins Monday and we'll have access to keys to give away. That's exciting. Ignore the giveaway part. Let's just focus on the Let's just focus on this. Actually, no, back up. Let's be real here. If you want to get in on a free, you know, experience of PUBG's new map, then by all means, you head over to PC Gamer and you enter into that giveaway. On top of that, you can also enter in via a lot of streams. I know that some of the popular PUBG streamers are going to be giving a lot of keys away, so that should be interesting to see. I'm going to try and get my hands on one because I haven't played this new map and I'm very excited. It's essentially a fourth of the size. Oh God, what's wrong with my coffee cup? On the stream, for those podcast listeners, my coffee cup is reflecting some light. Oh my. But it's essentially 1/4 the size of the map in PUBG right now. I think the most popular map. But that's beside the point. Let's dive into the story. If you get a key, you'll be able to check out the tropical map codenamed Savage, even if you don't own PUBG. We got a quick look at PUBG's new 4x4 map, codenamed Savage, during GDC. At 1/4 size of the two existing maps, Savage should produce brutal and fast rounds of Battle Royale, and you might not have to wait long to try for yourself. On Monday, April 2nd, which is today at the time of recording this video, and streaming this stream, PUBG will begin the first round of closed experimental testing for its 4x4 kilometer map. Access to the map will be limited to players with a key, but you don't even have to own PUBG to take part in this test. We have a few thousand keys to give away. PC Gamer Club Legendary Tier members as of 12:01 PDT on Monday are being emailed codes. Members who are joined after the time are not guaranteed a code, but will be running a general first-come, first-served giveaway here. So check back later today for the entry form. The map will become available for testers with keys on Monday, April 2nd at 7 p.m. PDT, and the testing will end on April 5th at 4 a.m. PDT. So essentially, you've got 3 days to give this new map a shot. And as we talked about last week, whenever this new map, or a couple of weeks back, whatever episode that was, we talked about this new PUBG map, and it is going to be quite the impactful change for PUBG, if I had to guess. Of course, over the course of the past about 6-7 months or so, Fortnite has been the hot name on the town. Everybody has been talking about Fortnite, whether you like to admit it or not. Fortnite has overtaken PUBG in terms of popularity, in terms of significance. Everybody has fallen in love with Fortnite. Also, Rasm in the chat. Hey, Samuel, how's it going? It is going fantastic, my friend. I hope you're doing very well, and I hope your Monday is off to a fantastic start. But this tropical map is going to be quite the game changer because it does kind of make the experience of PUBG a more compact one. It makes it more similar to the fast-paced Fortnite kind of experience whenever you are looking at a game like Fortnite and comparing it to PUBG. For those that may not be initiated into the whole Battle Royale genre, PUBG can take upwards of maybe 45 minutes to play an entire round depending on your play style. This is assuming that you do win, which is much more rare in PUBG than it is in Fortnite. But if you're just playing a game of Fortnite, it can take around 25 minutes or so max, and then on top of that, wins, if you do have some skill, are much more frequent, whether that be a less experienced player base or different kinds of mechanics. There are a lot of factors that can end up going into your success in Fortnite and or PUBG. And so with all of this stuff being taken into account, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this map does impact the reception of the game. I know that people have been very excited about it, myself included. I'll be streaming a ton of this whenever the new map does launch, but I would love, just if anybody from Bluehole is listening, make it so that I can choose what map I want to be matchmade on. I hate the desert map. I can't explain enough. Just bring it in here. I hate the desert map so much. Please make me able to not have to. I don't want to experience that. I just simply don't want to experience it. And so, if you could make it to where I can choose the classic map, if I can make it to where I can choose the desert map if I absolutely have to, or if I choose to for some reason, maybe I'm high off my ass and feel like playing the desert map because that just doesn't make sense anyways. Or if I want to play the tropical map, then we can go ahead and check that out, you know. And that would be a fantastic addition. Decky in the chat says, I find it weird that they don't let you choose maps. I don't understand, man. I don't understand. You know, at least in Battlefield 1, you have some kind of filter to where you can choose what kind of map you want to play on. But I'm getting sassy. You know, I'm gonna back up. I'm getting a little bit sassy. I'm getting salty. We're gonna take a step back from this. Anyways, if you want to check out the 4x4 kilometer map, there are a ton of people giving away a ton of keys, so you can check that out if you will. Enjoying the last day of vacation, Raz in the chat says, thanks for the game from the giveaway. No problem, my friend. Also, this is a good time to interject and throw in a bit of an ad here in the podcast /stream/video. If you want to get in on the second giveaway, actually, celebrating 300 followers here on twitch.tv/thesamueladams, you can head over to bit.ly/SamA 300 giveaway 2, nailed it. And also that link will be down below. It'll be all over Twitch and all that good stuff in my Twitter, etc., etc. If you have won in the first giveaway, you cannot win in the second giveaway. Rules and regulations do apply. You can check your local 7-Eleven for details. Please don't go to your 7-Eleven and ask for details. They do not actually have any. I did not go to your local 7-Eleven. The Sassy Adam Show continues. The next story comes to us from Polygon's Julia Alexander yet again, saying, the attacks Kevin Periera acknowledges Twitch viewbotting controversy. I had nothing left to lose, he says. Now, for those that don't know who Kevin Periera is, let me back up and go ahead and insert some context into the situation. Kevin Periera used to be on G4 TV, a host way back in the day that pretty much is one of the direct reasons why I'm sitting here at 7:18 on a Monday morning talking to you about video game and entertainment news. Kevin Periera influenced me in such a way that it kind of drove me to become the entertainer and become the content creator that I am today. Now, of course, I'm nowhere near the level of Kevin Periera. I'm nowhere near the level of quality of content that this man brought to the table. This is a TV production level of quality coming from this individual, and I look up to him so much even after what he has done. And I'll explain why after we read the story. It's difficult enough to worry about success on Twitch when you're also solo streaming operation. It's a completely different scenario when you're trying to ensure that an entire team of people can keep working. That's the dire situation that Kevin Periera found himself in. A longtime fixture in the gaming community, Periera is best known as a host of Attack of the Show, which aired on G4 from 2005 to 2012. After leaving G4, he continued the Attack on Twitch in 2014, which was pretty much a rebranded version of Attack of the Show. The Attack wasn't performing the way Periera and his production company needed it to, and the host turned producer turned boss told Polygon that with people's jobs on the line, he was feeling desperate to try and keep the show going to keep as many people as employed as possible. Periera ended up turning to viewbotting, a practice that falsely inflates the number of viewers watching the stream or video. It's frowned upon within the streaming community and violates Twitch's terms of service. After being discovered, Periera voluntarily took down the Twitch channel before it could get suspended. He told Polygon earlier today that even though he was doing something wrong, he did it in an effort to keep the Attack team together for however long he could. It was an act born of desperation. I explicitly said I had nothing left to lose and was very flippant about it, he said. Well, a way to get discovered on the platform is to have a channel that's getting more views, Periera said. So instead of trying to make the content better or refocus my strategy, with the limited time we had left, I decided to shortcut it and try and get some extra views on the channel. Periera acknowledged that viewbotting means the Attack brand is pretty much done and said that he would be shutting down everything, including the team's Patreon. I'm going to try and help the team land on their feet and try and get them jobs elsewhere, Periera continued. Clearly it was a mistake, but my personal hope is that it becomes the footnote. I know it's the story right now, and I get that, but I hope it becomes the footnote. I tried to save jobs, I really did, and hope that in the end that I didn't do any irreparable damage to people's careers. Turning to viewbotting left him ridden with guilt, Periera said, noting that it's caused endless sleepless nights because I know I don't want the team to work so hard on this, to bear the burden of my mistake. During the conversation, Periera spoke mostly about the concern he had for his team and the brand's reputation, something he admitted he hopes isn't ruined now. It sucks and I'm feeling tragically defeated by it all, Periera said. For 3 years, we were making some really amazing content and building a community and doing something different on the platform, and it sucks that this action I took might color all of that negatively, but understandably. Questions amassed when screenshots of the team's message to fans addressing the viewbotting controversy on the show's Discord made their way to Reddit, leading people to wonder how it got so bad in the first place. Dedicated fans pointed out they thought something might have been happening when the attack stream started jumping from a few hundred viewers to a few thousand, later acknowledging that this was from front page traffic, but they couldn't understand why Periera would decide to do something like viewbotting. The issue, Periera told Polygon, was that the attack grew too fast and he couldn't support it. The attack brand really expanded a while back, he said. We moved to a new studio for a different project. We ramped up and put a ton of resources into our live streams with the hope that one day we would attract sponsors or take it to TV or do something that could justify doing a big variety show on Twitch. Eventually, we had to whittle things down and whittle things down. Periera said he also blames himself for how the situation got so dire in the first place. We could continue going on, but essentially what's going on here is that Kevin Periera is going to be fading into the background for a bit and allowing this whole controversy to kind of die down and everything to kind of calm back down before he jumps back in and tries something different, maybe on a different platform, maybe on a different kind of medium, television, movies, etc. He's going to continue making content, but essentially right now he is going to be taking a step back from it all. But you get the gist of the story with this. You get the gist of the story. Decky in the chat is having a really hard time dealing with this right now. But for me, Kevin Periera, again, like I said, is just kind of like one of those childhood inspirations for me to be here on a Monday morning. So essentially, to break it all down in a much more condensable way, there was a producer on a very somewhat significant Twitch stream that does kind of like a morning show / talk show thing like this one, and he ended up at, well, it's actually much more professional than this one. But he ended up paying for views on the channel. So essentially, instead of having 3 people watching, he would have 100 people watching. If there were 100 people watching, he'd have thousands of people watching, even though there were not legitimate views going on right there. And so eventually got discovered, got called out on it, has finally just decided to take down the entire channel. In fact, twitch.tv/theattack is no longer. It is gone. It does not exist. And that's a very unfortunate thing because I feel like there was a lot of value that Kevin did bring to the table in this scenario. So it's unfortunate to hear, but at the same time, it's also a very bad thing that he did because it is against the Twitch terms of service to pay for views. You simply can't viewbot. It is wrong. It should not be done ever in any kind of circumstance. There is no reason why this should be a thing, you know. I love the fact that he did acknowledge what the proper response to this would have been, and that was to make better content. Because if you make quality content, good things will happen to you in this industry. That's why I work so hard to do this, to do a morning show, to stream regularly, to make YouTube videos. If you put the content out there, then people are going to acknowledge the fact that you are making amazing content, and they will begin supporting you once they find you. And Kevin Periera is much more known, much well known, you know, in comparison to me. And so if people see that he is making something good, then they'll probably back that up, throw some funding his way, and they can continue doing that kind of thing. But instead, he chose the easy route of buying some views, which is something that I never thought that I would see Kevin Periera do, and something that is very unfortunate. Now, with this being said, you know, this is kind of where I want to leave this. I have lost a bit of respect for Kevin, but I understand why he did this is because the man is so passionate about the content that he makes. The man is so passionate about what was going on over at The Attack. And so you can't really blame somebody for throwing themselves into a situation like this and absolutely getting quote-unquote lost in the sauce, you know, as the kids do end up saying. He got blinded by the fact that he loved what he was doing so much that he felt compelled to save it. It's kind of like if a parent is given the opportunity to either kill somebody else or have their own child killed, it's one of those things where you have to choose one of the two, and so this man chose to go ahead and save his child and to then go against the terms of service, buy some views, etc., etc. Decky says, or you could do stupid shit, display dead bodies, and taser dead animals and get YouTube to cover your ass. We will not speak his name. What says you, good sir? No, I'm just kidding. But yes, there are very many options to getting views online, and Kevin Periera chose to go the view botting way, which is, again, very unfortunate. I hope the man lands on his feet because he has a very creative mind, one that is very grounded in the gaming culture and the entertainment culture, and is just really, really a treasure to the industry. So it's unfortunate to see that he has chosen to go this route, and again, hopefully he lands on his feet. Moving along to the next story, coming to us from Game Rant, God of War will offer performance mode for smoother PS4 Pro gameplay. This is coming to us from Anthony to Tormina. From Anthony over at Game Rant. God of War director Cory Barlog has confirmed that the upcoming PS4 exclusive will feature a performance mode for the PS4 Pro. Although Barlog was on social media touting the 4K visuals of God of War, he assured inquisitive fans that the game would offer an option for smoother gameplay for those that want it. Given that God of War is a Sony-published title and a PS4 exclusive, it only makes sense for the game to give PS4 Pro owners a variety of options. Last year's major PS4 release, Horizon Zero Dawn, also featured a toggle where players could choose between dedicating the PS4 Pro's power to visuals or performance. Performance mode, or whatever Sony Santa Monica chooses to call the visual mode, will presumably let players prioritize frame rate when playing God of War. As compared to 4K 30, you will be able to play 1080p 60. That's pretty much what this comes down to. According to Barlog, this will offer a smoother visual presentation, although the visuals might not be as crisp if the player favors resolution. So that's pretty much where we leave this. As more and more gamers begin to upgrade their consoles to a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X, developers are beginning to give players the option of where to dedicate the extra horsepower. Since the games still need to run on the base models of the console, the developers can't fully utilize the upgraded console's hardware, but they can use it to give a little better picture or a little better frame rate. Serious Sam, yes. Serious Sam. Early reports of God of War suggest that the game will run at 30 FPS on PS4, but the PS4 Pro might deliver a little more stable 30 FPS, but 60 FPS is unlikely. Some games that do feature a performance mode try to up the frame rate to the 60 FPS standard, but most use it for a little extra stability. If nothing else, knowing there is a performance mode gives those PS4 Pro owners without a 4K TV something to look forward to. Getting a little extra power out of an upgraded console helps justify the purchase of a Pro, and hopefully, like Barlog claims, the gameplay experience is a little bit smoother. God of War releases April 20th, 2018 for the PlayStation 4. 420 turn up, God of War. This is going to be a really great game. I mean, I have nothing else to say about that. When it comes to and I know that I'm going to be eating my words here, but a truly cinematic experience like God of War, I don't believe that frame rate is necessarily something that is really a game changer, because everything is so dependent on the story. If the story is good enough, then people are going to enjoy God of War. That is what it comes down to. It's all placebo, says Decky in the chat. I mean, you're right. In a way, what I'm saying here is that the story of God of War is going to be so significant. The story of God of War is going to be so impactful that I do believe that there is a cinematic effect with 30 FPS. I'm a true believer in that. Now, 24 FPS, then you're just talking about dropped frames. But with that being said, 30 FPS does bring a pretty great experience. So I'm going to be playing the new God of War on the PS4. I'm probably going to be doing a full playthrough on stream over the course of the first couple of days that it comes out. I probably honestly end up renting it because it is like an 8 to 10 hour game, and I can probably play it in 2 or 3 days depending on streaming schedules and whatnot. But with that being said, there are so many different ways to look at this, but ultimately when it comes down to it, the story is going to justify the purchase of God of War for a lot of people, and the 60 FPS, if it hits 60 with the performance mode, that's great. If it doesn't, it's understandable, but God of Beard is going to be coming out on 4/20, 2018, so that should be a very, very fun game to check out. And again, I mean, just looking at this screenshot, this is the lore here, the depth of this, the amazing, oh man, I love it. I love everything about it. So, yes, God of War is going to be coming out on April the 20th, and man, I can't wait to wield that axe and chop some baddies up, and also throw it. I love throwing the axe. I love the way that looks in the trailer, I must admit. That is something that really hits me where it counts. Moving along to another story from Game Rant. Twitch Prime free games for April 2018 revealed. This is coming to us from Janine Engelbrecht. Nailed it. Twitch has announced April's free games for Prime members. From today until April 30th, Twitch Prime members can download 5 free games to keep forever, in addition to enjoying in-game loot for other games such as Fortnite and Call of Duty World War II, amongst other things. These free games for Prime members will disappear after April 30th, so be sure to grab them before the end of the month. The Twitch Prime free games April lineup includes some fan favorites in Tales of the Borderlands and Double Wars, critically acclaimed indie amplifier winner SteamWorld Dig 2 and Kingsway, and the Grand Theft Auto-inspired cyberpunk game Tokyo 42. Razum says, if the graphics are as good as the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers, it's going to be an amazing game. Kingdom Hearts 3, I would assume, is what KH3 is. Yes, 100% agreed. Looks great. But first up, Tales from the well, we don't have to go through all of these. I do want to see what Dub Wars is. Dub Wars is a game for dubstep and electronic music lovers. The game combines the mechanics of a top-down shooter with the power of music. Well, I'm sold already. The indie game SteamWorld Dig 2 takes place in a post-apocalyptic SteamWorld punk world, sure, where Earth has become a desert wasteland while Kingsway takes place in a fantasy world presented through the interface of a 1990s operating system. These indie games we're giving ratings on, really great games here. These are all free. These are all free games, so if you want some free games and you have PlayStation, or excuse me, I'm so sorry, Twitch Prime, but you also have PlayStation Plus free games and Xbox Live games with gold. But if you have Twitch Prime, you can check out these free games until the end of the month. I'm very excited to play SteamWorld Dig 2, and I'm also very excited to play Dub Wars now because I love a good top-down shooter and I love dubstep. I'm not like, you know, a huge dude into dubstep, but I can appreciate it. Also, Tokyo 42 is a really interesting looking game. I did a episode of The Drop on that one a couple of months back, and so it's cool to see. But Kingdom Hearts, yes, it's going to look fantastic. Decky in the chat says, music and guns, what more do you want? Nothing at all. That's pretty much all I need. That is all I need. But if you want to check them out again, they are going to be free until April the 30th. So if you get that hot Twitch Prime sub, you can go ahead and deposit that to a channel of your choosing and then go play your beautiful games while you listen to somebody talk about something. Moving along, the GTA 5 Lindsay Lohan lawsuit has been rejected. Again, we conclude that the subject images are not recognizable as the plaintiff. This is coming to us again from GameSpot's Callie Plog, whatever it is. An appeal from actress Lindsay Lohan in her lawsuit against Rockstar Games parent company Take-Two Interactive, which alleged her likeness was used in a Grand Theft Auto 5 ad, or actually on a loading screen, etc., has been dismissed in the New York Court of Appeals. The lawsuit dates back to 2014 and was initially thrown out in 2016 before Lohan appealed. The lawsuit claimed GTA 5's character Lacey Jonas is an unequivocal reference to Lohan. In the initial ruling, the court stated that even if we accepted plaintiffs' contentions that the video game depictions are close enough to be considered representations of the respective plaintiffs, the claims should be dismissed because of this video game does not fall under the statutory definitions of advertising or trade. Okay, you know, I'm not a judge. In the appeal, as spelled out by Gamatsura, the court concluded that a computer-generated image may constitute a portrait within the meaning of civil rights law sections 50 and 51. We also conclude, however, that the subject images are not recognizable as the plaintiff. In simpler terms, Lacey Jonas is not a likeness of Lohan. I love how the name even sounds similar. Lacey Jonas is not a likeness of Lindsay Lohan, sure. And that's the final word. GTA 5 launched back in September of 2013. It's going to be 5 years old this year. My God, I'm getting old. But it's still going strong. Developer Rockstar continues to support GTA Online weekly, and the game consistently tops the UK physical sales charts. Now, personally, I think it's very, very plain to see that Lacey Jonas within the game is pretty much a direct representation of Lindsay Lohan. It looks very much so like Lindsay Lohan. However, it could also be somebody like Kate Upton. It could be a lot of different people. It's generally just a hot chick wearing a bikini taking a picture of herself. That's essentially what you've got within GTA 5. I don't think that there is any kind of deeper meaning here. I think they just try to make a hot chick and move on with life. And now they're kind of trying to deal with Lindsay Lohan, and obviously the courts aren't having it. Decky says, is Lindsay Lohan that short on money? Ooh, I think you might have hit it right on the head, my friend. Whenever you have the opportunity to make a lot of Rockstar money, that like not Rockstar money like, you know, Rockstar in a band. I'm talking Rockstar like Rockstar Games money. I mean, give it a shot, you know? It's one of those things where if you see somebody giving something away for free where it's like, hey, enter to win this brand new 4K television, well, you might as well enter to win, so you might as well bring up a lawsuit with Rockstar Games because you never know what kind of money you're going to get. So, anyways, it's cool to see that the law has held up what Rockstar has done here, and that we don't have to deal with Lindsay Lohan coming in and changing up GTA 5 or changing up the legacy of GTA 5, which at this point is pretty much untouchable. I mean, the game has sold, actually this past week it hit 5 million copies sold on Steam alone, and that's not counting the Xbox 360 version, the PS3 version, the Xbox One, or the PS4 versions of the game. Just 5 million on Steam. So with that being taken into account, it's very clear to see that the game is doing well for itself. There is no doubting that. Very, very, very impressive game. Very impressive game. I'm going to close these other tabs, actually. There's some coffee. There's my Twitter with a eat this, not that tweet going on. But yes, it's very cool to see that Lindsay Lohan has been shot down yet again. And so I wish the best for you, Lindsay, but don't be dealing with my video games. Next comes to us from Games Radar. This next story is talking about Fortnite. I mean, have you ever heard of the game? Have we talked about it here? I don't know. Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. There is a strange comet in the skies of Fortnite Battle Royale, and it seems to be getting bigger. Again, this story comes to us from Games Radar as Connor Sheridan. Is Fortnite Battle Royale about to get hit by a comet? These fans have some detailed theories. The next time you have a few spare seconds between bashing trees and shotgunning fools in Fortnite Battle Royale, cast your gaze towards the stars. There's something new up there. Epic quietly snuck in another celestial body into the skies of Fortnite a few weeks ago, and now it seems to be getting bigger. Theorists on Reddit's Fortnite Battle Royale subforum have all kinds of ideas about what this potential impact could mean. I can't say with 100% certainty that the glowing object in the sky is a comet headed straight for the uncannily diverse island that is Fortnite Battle Royale's known world, but look at this screenshot posted by Reddit user, whatever you want to call that, Nico Razi, a few days before Fortnite Update 3.4 went live. Obviously, you can see it right here if you are not watching the video right now or you are listening to a podcast. It's essentially this blue dot that's pretty much in the middle of the sky, and there are a lot of telescopes that are pointed to it from time to time. But obviously the thing is getting bigger. You know, if you're comparing these screenshots, obviously there's a big difference here. It looks bigger and better defined, don't you think? That was once a bright blob. What was once a bright blob now has a crescent shape in the bottom right with a wider aura on the top left, suggesting a leading edge and following trail, respectively. The trail is subtly animated in-game as well, making it seem even more comet-y. Cometous? Comedic? Whatever it may be. Nico Razi also made the key observation. Oh my goodness, hello. Wow. I apologize to audio listeners. Thank you for that follow. Much appreciated, much appreciated. Nico Razi also made the key observation that the latest set of Battle Royale Battle Pass challenges include an objective to head to mountain summits, some of which have new non-usable telescopes. In the video game business, they call that signposting, aka using parts of the world to non-verbally say, hey, look over there, or up there in this case. I'd worry about everybody hoarding supplies and turning on each other. Yeah, so essentially what the theory here, also John, appreciate that follow, my friend. What the theory here is that, I'm assuming you followed, I'm so sorry. What the theory here is that Tilted Towers is going to be taken out by this giant crater. And this is pretty much a mock-up that somebody did, I believe, is this giant crater right here where Tilted Towers used to be. Because when it comes down to the mechanics of the game, when you're talking about Fortnite Battle Royale, hold on, I'll zoom in on this so you guys can see it a little bit better. So people are saying this is what it's going to be. Whenever you are looking at the mechanics of Fortnite, everybody drops and automatically goes to Tilted Towers. Now, of course, those that want to spend more time in the game, those that really truly believe that they can get to the Victory Royale stage of the game, they are not going to be dropping at Tilted Towers. But for those that just want to have a good time, for those that are really into the high-octane, high-action gameplay that Fortnite can bring to the table, then that is where you get people dropping at Tilted. That's pretty much what the city is there for. And so it's become such an issue where everybody is going to Tilted that it's speeding up the game to a point where it's not where the developers want the time spent in game to be. And so they're changing that up, and supposedly they're going to be blowing up Tilted Towers at some point. And somebody has speculated that at the end of Season 3 is when Tilted is going to be blown up. And I like this idea, I truly do, because I feel like if you have the same locations in the game, then everything gets stagnant. You can change up the weapons all you want, but there is nothing like switching up where people go on the map by literally destroying a section of the map. That has never been done, to my knowledge. That never really gets done, and I can't believe that they're actually planning on doing it if it is in fact true. The developers have not said anything, aside from actually somebody that reached out. I think it was on another platform. I was reading a couple of stories about this, but essentially somebody reached out and said, hey, is this actually what's going on? And the developers replied with the clip of that dude, the clip of that dude, hold on. They replied with this, where it's just literally this man, it's the aliens guy with the weird hair that's like, you know, like, dude, aliens. It's that guy. And so they just replied with this. So essentially, is the Season 4 of Fortnite going to be on a different planet? Is it going to have some kind of new setting? Maybe. Is this entire island going to be destroyed? Who knows what this Comet thing could bring to the table? It could really be a game changer for what Fortnite Battle Royale is bringing to the table. Decky in the chat says they're going to add AI zombies to the map. God, I hope not. Homage to DayZ? Nah, I doubt that. I doubt that heavily. However, if you do want some zombies or zombie-like creatures, mutants, whatever you want to call it, I think they're zombies, you can check out the PvE, which I hear is fun, just not for me. Anyways, if you guys want to dive into Battle Royale, there are a ton of various affiliate links and things along those lines where somebody gets credit for, you going over there and checking out the game, or you can just head over and give it a quick Google and check out the game. Razum says, I'm guessing the black circle area is where the tilted towers used to be. Yes, but it's still there right now. This is just hypothetically what could happen. This could be a very cool section of the map, though. Like, imagine if you had a giant pile of loot at the bottom of a crater or something along those lines, and then this is pretty much just a giant, like a river or something along those lines where things have changed. And so now essentially this is higher around here. For those that aren't, imagine a bullseye that is 3D and it gets deeper as you go towards the middle circle. That's pretty much how I'm guessing this would end up going. But of course, I'm not a game developer. They can figure out how that works. But as far as my favorite location on the entire map, I love all of them, but when it comes down to it, I'm a big fan of Lucky Landing because then you can run over to Fatal Fields and you can replicate that action and that high-octane gameplay that you got whenever you first dropped. But of course, that is just my opinion. They're all really good as far as where you want to drop. And of course, where we dropping, boys, I feel compelled to say that. But so it will be interesting to see what happens as Season 3 draws to a close. I kind of died out whenever we're talking about Fortnite. I'm not super into it as much as I was back in the day. And back in the day, I mean like 2 months ago. So with that being said, will I dive back into it? I might give it a look. But I'm really more excited about that second story we covered with the new PUBG map coming out. That's really what I'm interested in. I love PUBG now for some reason. I don't know. I went back to it. It's hitting me where it counts. I'm digging it big time. And so it will be interesting to see if this Comet does end up hitting Tilted Towers. But with that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Caffeinate. If you did, then you can check it out on podcast services. If you want to go back and listen to a story you may have missed, if you want to catch up on all of the past episodes, they're uploaded on youtube.com/SamuelAdamsMedia. They're on anchor.fm/SamuelAdams. You can check out all of the episodes I've done on YouTube. I'm not sure they're all up on Anchor, but that's beside the point. If you do want to sub, if you do want to go over there and interact on Anchor, by all means, you can feel, the welcoming invitation to do that. But I want to thank you guys for listening to this episode. Of course, follow me on Twitter at PrettyChillGuy. That's where you can keep up to date with all of the content. But as for right now, I will talk to you guys very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day and get your Monday off to a fantastic start. And peace.